So crypto markets are dumping. Everything is not looking too hot. There's a whole bunch of different perspectives around exactly the Fed rate cut decision and exactly quantitative tightening and expansion and exactly what's going to be happening in the next few months for altcoins. And everyone feels like it's the end of the crypto cycle, the end of the market. The bear market is starting. And this is what the bulls have been, not the bulls, the bears have been saying, while the bulls have been giving a lot of bullish perspectives, talking about how exactly this is something that's just going to happen and that patience is going to be rewarded. Now, should you be buying altcoins? Should you not be buying altcoins? Well, it depends on your risk tolerance. Could we still keep deviating more? Yes, there's anticipation that more deviations could be taking place based off of the heat map with Bitcoin and how potentially there's liquidity sitting right below 100,000. So this is where everyone has been calling for the bear market. People like Dr. Profit, one of the massive bears in the market, has been telling everyone that everything is going to get even worse and that you should be selling your assets because everything is going to be dumping. Now, I have a crypto portfolio. It's been dumping quite significantly. What am I going to do? I'm not dumping. These assets are down significantly, oversold because a lot of people bought into altcoins, not necessarily focused on actual good projects that can explode. Everyone was just trying to make a quick flip. And as a result, everyone that got into assets that they didn't believe are selling right now. People that really need the money and are worried that it's going to go to zero are selling everything that they have, which is why we're seeing a lot of assets like my crypto portfolio going down significantly. The only people that are holding the asset are the individuals that actually believe in it. And at the end of the day, as we keep on progressing and seeing even more red in the markets, we're going to keep losing faith with a lot of different individuals, which is why the people that allocate to the market whenever everything is down, which is why people like Warren Buffett talk about how you need to get greedy when everyone is fearful. That's exactly how you make the gains. And I think in every cycle, this is something that everyone talks about, that at the end of it, nothing really makes sense. Price action is not looking too hot. Everyone thinks that it's the end of the cycle. And then that's whenever everything starts to run back up. A lot of perspectives around the fact that a bear market doesn't actually start when everyone is down, or in terms of not the portfolios, but the perspectives. Usually a bear market starts whenever we see massive euphoria in the market and everyone is up and everyone's saying that we're going to keep rallying. And then from there, we see the deviation. We have been seeing massive different black swan events in terms of the tariffs around the United States and China and multiple other nations. On top of that, we have these trade deals that are going into effect that are affecting these tariffs. The unemployment data hasn't really been too on track in terms of exactly what the Fed has been seeing. On top of that, we have a government shutdown that has been taking place for the last 29 days. So you can go back to all the previous cycles. You didn't have all of these crazy things happening, and there are similarities, like in 2020 whenever we had COVID hit, and then in 2017, 2018 whenever we saw, a whole bunch of stimulus and the election, a lot of different things going on. Right now, though, is where you need to understand that this is something that just happens in cycles. And I think a lot of people that haven't been here, and even me, this is actually my first cycle, but I, on my channel, have been keeping up with the day-to-day, the news events, the price action, the perspectives, and how everyone switches and flips up, and the people that actually stay to their grit. I think a lot of people start getting full of themselves because people start making a lot of money, and as a result, they start losing hindsight of exactly what's potentially possible. We've been keeping up with the price action around Bitcoin, around Ethereum, around the total 3E chart with altcoins and Bitcoin dominance to really let us know how liquidity is shifting. And right now, everything is just not looking too hot. And that's why everyone is saying this is the end of the cycle with all of these different perspectives, price action not looking hot, and everyone overall just saying that crypto is done. It's dead. That is just bullcrap. That is complete BS. Cycles happen. We pretty much are seeing everyone talking about the end of the 4-year cycle, how it doesn't exist. And we have everyone just pretty much throwing in their tidbits, which is why everyone doesn't know what's going on. People are like, are we pumping? Are we dumping? Like, what's going to happen next? You should expect more volatility closing out the week, and then from there, hopefully seeing a little bit of recovery moving into next week. But right now, based off of a few analysis with exactly how the Fed is making its actions and what we saw whenever we saw quantitative tightening end, this is whenever we started to see altcoins dip very significantly. And this is something I just pretty much want to get across to you, because if you're someone that is over allocated into the markets, you don't necessarily believe into the assets that you are, investing in, then you might want to get out of the markets, because at the end of the day, no one knows if we're just going to keep deviating or if everything's already going to explode in the next week or so. And honestly, we kind of do know. We are pretty much predicting that Bitcoin is going to be seeing its peak in Q4 and then also at the beginning of Q1, especially with how the Fed is anticipating rate cuts, unemployment data, inflation, and multiple other different things. This is where global economic events have a big effect on price action and volatility into money supply, all that crazy good stuff that is going to help altcoins explode. But if you're not keeping up with it, none of it makes any sense. You're pretty much just looking at everything and what everyone is saying, and you're like, who's lying? Who's telling the truth? And you can't really distinguish it because you aren't doing enough dissecting to understand exactly why everyone feels the way that they feel, what is actually causing price action to go down, and how to pretty much position yourself. What am I doing right now? I am dollar cost averaging. I'm pretty much short on dry powder, pretty much with all the deviations that have been taking place and the fact that I've been trying to day trade or have been day trading for the past few weeks. So I'm doing a lot of different things, but right now the best thing to do is dollar cost average into your positions, especially if they're building for the long term, which my investments, I feel pretty confident in it with the exception of a few of the meme coins I'm investing in. I feel pretty confident in my portfolio. At the end of the day, you can see all different types of headlines. You can see everything that everyone has to say. But markets are just not looking too hot because global economic events aren't lining up. We're seeing insiders selling significantly, positioning themselves for exactly the end of Q4 and Q1 because smart money knows how all these moves work and exactly before they're going to be happening. So you need to understand that there's a lot of people in the markets that have much more expertise than you, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't skew your perspective in terms of trying to understand what's going on. I try to give you guys the key news events that happen on a week-to-week basis, keep you updated on the price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. Go check out the rest of my content so that you guys can try to get an understanding of kind of what's going on and what to pay attention to. On my channel, I try to give you perspectives from analysts, traders, investors that have been here longer than us, the bears, the bulls. I give you multiple perspectives and not just one so that we can truly understand who is right and who is wrong. And right now, the bears have been more right than the bulls. And am I still a bull? Yes, I'm still a bull. I wouldn't have an altcoin portfolio if I wasn't a bull. But you still need to understand the bearish perspectives and exactly when they're correct so that you can position yourself correctly and don't run around like a chicken with its head cut off whenever you start seeing deviations. Yes, we're down in the dumps. Yes, it is painful. And yes, it is not looking too hot every morning when we wake up and we look at our phone and we start crying a little bit inside. But you should not be selling your altcoins. That's one of the worst decisions that you can make. Selling at all-time lows, like, bro, if you're going to do that, like, you might as well just grab your money and throw it out the window. Like, come on, don't do that. Don't let timing destroy your gains. Be confident, be patient, understand how liquidity shifts, keep up with everything that's going on the channel. That's what we do. And don't stress. I'm going to keep you updated on everything that's going on, how we close out the week tomorrow, and exactly altcoins that probably you should be looking into with all the deviations that have been taking place. But like I said, if you're new to my channel, check out the rest of my content. Drop me a comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of my content. Let me know what you think of my perspective. Do you think the crypto markets are done? Do you think altcoin season is going to start? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear everyone's perspectives and exactly where they're at on their journey. And right now, a lot of people are already done. So let me know where you're at. I'm going to drop a video tomorrow letting you know exactly what's happening and how we close out the week. Expect volatility. Do not capitulate your bags. Please do not sell your altcoins if you're investing in good projects. Don't do that. Just selling at all-time lows. Like, just don't do that. All right. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.